Good time zone, Gen Friends, and welcome to CrossGen Friends, your gaming, pop culture, and tech podcast with a multi-generation point of view. I'm Byron Miller, and with me always is Joe LaRussa. How are you doing today, Joe?
I'm doing pretty good, Byron. Gen Friends, that's a new thing. Is that what we're calling our ginormous fan base, the Gen
That's right.
Friends?
It's our club. We're inclusive, and we
All
have to
right.
have a name for it, and that's the cool name that I came up with and threw in there at the last minute.
I like it. I actually like Gen Friends. I think that's a pretty clever one. I'll run that past our focus group and see what everyone thinks, but I do think that's a good name. Well, I have a question for you this week, Byron. What is your happy place?
Oh, my happy place has got to be Thanksgiving. It's probably my favorite holiday of the year if you don't count my
Hmm.
birthday as a holiday, which most people don't. I like food. I like to cook. And Thanksgiving is the best combination of that. I did a smoked turkey. I did multiple smoked turkey breasts, and I made persimmon pudding. And unlike the previous time I made it, I actually executed the persimmon pudding correctly, and everybody enjoyed it. And I still have a crap ton of leftovers for it, which nobody else in the house will eat but me. But that's fine because I like it.
Wait, why won't they eat the leftovers?
The persimmon pudding, my wife doesn't like
Oh,
it. Like I
I
don't
thought you
get
meant
it.
they
I
wouldn't
mean,
eat any of the leftovers.
oh, so typically my son, who's now going back to college, does not eat leftovers, but he makes an exception for turkey. So he ate some of the
Mm.
smoked turkey the other night after we all went to bed. There's still like 3/4 of a turkey breast left in the fridge, so I'll probably have some of that tomorrow night. Maybe some mashed potatoes because you can't have turkey without mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
And
I
we
can. Hmm?
we had friends over, so
Yeah.
my parents came over, and some of our friends. One's a listener of the show, and it's just a good time. We always enjoy spending holidays with our friends and family.
Yeah, I had leftovers the day after Thanksgiving, and my mother had heated up the mashed potatoes, but I also had the manicotti as it's written out, along with it. So the manigot along with the turkey was just I was stuffed. It was too much that this the second day. Well, that's really cool. I really like Thanksgiving as well.
Yes, that's your happy place, also.
Yeah, no couch this week. I'm gonna join you in saying the Thanksgiving table. We did it at home for the first time in about 5 years instead of going to my Aunt Lisa's house. I love my Aunt Lisa. She's an amazing cook. But sometimes it is nice to be home. We had a lot of stuff going on the last couple weeks or so since I've been here with my dad and some things. So yeah, I just got to do it at home with my mom and my dad and my grandmother, and we had some delicious turkey. Now we're Italian American heritage, so
You don't say.
yeah, so we don't do exactly at home what you would be thinking. We open up. Normally, we would actually open up with some shrimp cocktails as like the pre dinner appetizer. We didn't do it this year because again, everything was very last minute and rushed. We were planning to go to Aunt Lisa's, but we ended up skipping that. But normally you open up with some shrimp cocktails, and then a little bit later you start with the pasta dish, which is either a lasagna or some menegot or something like that. And then that's your like pre-dinner meal. And then once you've had your pre-dinner meal, a little bit later you go into your actual meal, which is the traditional turkey with the mashed potatoes and the corn and the cranberry sauce. And usually we have some olives, and my mom will sometimes make stuffing for her and my grandmother. And it's so good. I agree. Thanksgiving is also my favorite holiday. I like to think of it as Christmas without the pressure of buying people gifts.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree. Yeah, our Thanksgiving is 100% Southern. We have Paula Deen recipes and mashed potatoes,
a
and
lot of butter.
yeah, oh yeah, a lot of butter. Yeah, the dish is a pineapple casserole, and I refer to it affectionately as pineapple crap,
Oh.
and it's pineapple chunks, butter, cheddar cheese, and crushed Ritz crackers. And you crush up the Ritz crackers and put it on top. My friend's mom makes it every year. She didn't join us this year, so his wife made it. I've made it before when she wasn't able to join us, and mine was not as good because I tried to elevate it, and I learned that was a mistake. That you shouldn't elevate it. You need to use crappy cheese and just regular store Ritz crackers. So our friend's wife, she did a good job this year. It was very good.
Is pineapple like a big southern kind of fruit? Because I remember you're the one who recommended I get that pineapple dream thing at Disney, the You know what I'm talking about? The ice cream pineapple
Yeah, no,
smoothie
Dole
thing.
Whip. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. No, so I don't know that pineapple is a Southern thing. I don't know why Paula Deen used it. The reason it's at Disney is because it's in Adventureland, which is a Polynesian type area,
right.
and so that fits in. And also, they have a deal with Dole and have forever.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. Well, Byron, I think we have a nice surprise for our audience, don't we, this week?
Yeah, let me see if I can
Picture.
successfully pull this up.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Check it out.
Yes, that's right, audience. We went and met up in person yesterday. uh, we had lunch and we had a great time. Byron, did you have a great time as well, hanging
I
out at Lake Country Cigar and Wine Bar where there was no cigars and no wine?
Oh no, there were cigars. There was a humidor room back towards the bathroom, and there was wine at the bar. We just didn't have wine. I had a beer. I had a great time. It was good food. It was nice to go to Clarksville, even if it wasn't the one from the Monkey song. Um, yeah, it was a good trip, and we walked down to a brewery, and I brought some beer home. I haven't had it yet, but we'll have it soon. I'd go
Yeah, I'd
back.
meant
It's on the lake there, and it looks like a nice little place, I guess, for a weekend to spend.
Yeah, I'd mentioned that you bought the beer to bring home to my mother when I got home, and I said, "Yeah, he's saving it to share with his wife." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I don't know. He said he shouldn't have 32 ounces of beer in one sitting."
It's a crowler of wine. I don't need to drink all that at once. She'll
Well,
appreciate it when she gets home.
I'm glad that you'll welcome her back with an ice cold beer.
Yep. It may not be when she comes back. It may be over the weekend, but she'll get a
Hmm.
chance. It'll store indefinitely in a crowler. It'll be good.
I don't know what a crowler is, so
So whenever you get beer, there's different sizes. You can get 12-ounce cans, 12-ounce bottles. You can get typically 16-ounce cans. When you get a fill at a brewery, it would typically come in a 64-ounce container called a growler. I don't know why it's
uh-huh.
called a growler. And a lot of the breweries have purchased these canning, like individual canning machines that they could fill up a 32-ounce can,
Oh.
and they came up with the term crowler. So it comes with the bottom of the can, and they fill that up, and then they put the top on it, and they put in a little pressing machine that rotates it around and puts the top on,
So
and
that's what
yeah,
they were doing. I had no idea what they were doing when we were there. I was just like, all of a sudden a can appeared, and I was like,
yep.
oh, okay, cool.
And it gives them flexibility. They have, I don't know, 50 empty cans, and they can just fill one up and send you along your way with the crowler.
Hmm.
And because it's sealed, it it stays carbonated, and it's
And you
good
can
for a
leave the
long time.
restaurant. You can leave the place with it
Yeah,
legally.
yeah. I mean, same thing with growlers. Obviously, if it was half full, if you got pulled over, the cops probably wouldn't be too happy with you. And the same thing for the can. I mean, if the can is opened up and half full, they wouldn't be
Right.
real happy. But it resides in the back of the car and it's sealed, so yeah, nobody's going to say anything about that.
Yeah.
All right, ready to move to the news?
Yeah, let's do it. So this week we have a pretty small news week, but a couple of interesting stories here that we wanted to bring up. First off, Remedy has seemingly filed for a new trademark related to Control, its third-person action adventure game from 2019, according to a report from MP First. This comes in the lead up to the Game Awards on December 11th, where Jeff Keighley's show will presumably have numerous announcements, updates, and the like, in addition to, a few awards for games. And the speculation is that this trademark, Control Resonance, whatever it is, could be revealed there. Byron, what is your experience with Control or anything related to, the Control universe or Remedy in general?
I think we talked about Alan Wake before. I played
A
Alan
little
Wake
bit,
2
yeah.
and loved most of Alan. Honestly, I didn't like the Alan Wake parts as much, but the FBI agent that you play as, I liked playing as her, and I liked the mystery missions that she did. I like the setting of it. I loved Control, and there is
Yeah.
some crossover between Control and Alan Wake because it's in the same universe.
Yeah.
So I assume that any future Control game that you get is going to have more crossover because they're really blurring the lines of the two storylines. It feels.
Yeah, I've seen rumors and speculation that this may not be a game. This may be related to a TV or film that Remedy has purportedly been working on as a part of the Control and Alan Wake universe. So it wouldn't be the first time something TV show related is at the Game Awards. I think Fallout has been featured there, and The Last of Us has been featured there as non-game but game adaptation announcements or reveals or just things to show off at all. So I'm curious about it because I really loved Control. I've never played the Alan Wake games, but I love the 2019 Control, and really hated FBC Firebreak because that was awful. And I know we
It
talked
was
about that
awful.
before. Um, but I'm excited for anything new in Control's world. I thought that Jessie Faden was a really good character. I really liked her as a protagonist, which is not something I don't want to say it's not something I say often, but it's rare that individual protagonists will stand out to me as someone that I go, oh, I liked that protagonist, instead of just being like, oh, I like the game. Like, no, I liked that protagonist. So yeah, I like Control, and this is exciting to me. Are you excited to see what it is? Are you going to watch the Game Awards?
Probably not live, but I'll probably watch things afterwards if anything interesting happens.
Mm.
Such as I've watched the musical performance from Alan Wake 2 multiple times, just because that's one of the highlights of the game.
Yeah.
Like I said, by and large, I did not like the Alan Wake segments as much, but that one part of playing as Alan Wake was one of my favorite video game moments, period. It
Mm.
was just very well done.
Yeah,
But
that's cool.
yeah, I'm interested in the Control stuff. I really enjoyed Control and would probably go back and play it if I was running out of things to do.
I actually have Controls Platinum. That is one of the games that I don't I like I that was early in my journey of expanding my platinum trophy getting, my platinum trophy hunting, and I just really enjoyed the game to the point where I was like, oh, that's all I have left. I just have to like figure out these like stupid little random missions that because I literally just had to get like random missions. So I was fighting the RNG for it. I was like, that's all it is. All right, I don't mind this game because it's so fun. It's just so fun to like run around and float as Jessie and shoot things and blast them with her powers and all that. I was like, I do not mind running around grinding for this little trophy bit here, just because it's so much fun to be Jessie and be in this world. As far as the Game Awards go, I have some plans that day that you know of that I don't want to talk about on here in case a particular fiance happens to listen to this episode. But I will be busy with her during that day, and I will have to check it out potentially later on, depending on what time we're done with our stuff. So we'll see. I watch the Game Awards from start to finish, like every year. So uh, having doing it on a delay will be good for me because I can just fast forward through like the esports things and all the nonsense that I don't care about. Uh, but that's all I have on that topic here. So let's move on to your next story, Byron. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about the X Crocs. Microsoft released news of a Croc Microsoft Xbox shoe. And actually, no, let's not talk about the X Crocs. Moving on. After the cancellation of Mythic Quest, Ashley Birch citing, it seems Ubisoft isn't finished with Rob McElhenney. After being leaked in August, a formal announcement of a Far Cry series with McElhenney on FX and Hulu has been announced. There's no release date as of yet, but as somebody who's played a lot of the Far Cry games and loved Mythic Quest, I'm really looking forward to this. Did you watch Mythic Quest, or are you interested in the McElhenney universe?
I'm not, mostly because I don't have Apple anything. I generally disapprove of Apple as an existence. I am fairly anti-Apple against pretty much everything related to what they do. I feel like they are a very um, strangling company. They want to control everything very tightly, and I am too much of a laissez-faire, give people freedom person to be in favor of a company that wants that kind of tight control over stuff. So no, I don't have anything related to Apple. As much as I think it'd be fun to watch something like what's the
Severance?
no, I don't care about Severance, the soccer
Severance
show,
is amazing.
the soccer
Well,
one.
the soccer show is Welcome to Wrexham, and that is on Hulu, just
No,
like
not that
this.
soccer show. The other soccer show.
Apple has MLS. That's all I know.
No, it's the one with the former football coach who becomes a.
Oh, yeah.
The audience
Now
is shouting at us right now.
they're all shouting at us. Yeah. I'm
Uh,
having a brain fart. Yes, it's yeah.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I'm losing the name. I've watched all of it, and I love it. Ted Lasso.
Ted
It is
Lasso.
Ted
Yeah.
Lasso. Ted Lasso is amazing, and Ted Lasso is one of the best TV shows ever. And the last season is one of the best seasons of any TV show ever. And I cried at almost every single episode, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Yeah, so that's a show that I would very much like to watch, and maybe at some point I will, but there's just so much else going on that I don't have any particular time for this. But I am a fan of some Far Cry games, so this is interesting to me in that regard.
If you haven't watched Welcome to Wrexham, that's another pro watch. That's another McElhenney show that is a kind of documentary about his purchase of the Wrexham Football Club with Ryan Reynolds.
Hmm. Interesting. So what is your experience with Far Cry? What do you think of the Far Cry games?
I started with Far Cry 2, and I've played every one since then. The last one got really weird. Or not the last one. The last one was with the guy from Breaking Bad.
Giancarlo Esposito, yeah.
Yeah, and he plays the same character in everything he does, which is fine because he does it well. The one before that got really weird with the end of the world type stuff, and it was an extension, I guess, of what, 4 or 5. The last one was Far Cry 6, I think.
So I can do you want I can just give you the history. You want so Far Cry 6 was preceded by Far Cry New Dawn, which was a direct follow-up to Far Cry 5, where Far Cry 5 had a couple of different ending options, and Far Cry New Dawn went with the one where the world gets blown up, basically.
Yeah.
And that was the continuation from there.
I like parts of New Dawn, but yeah, it was very weird, and I don't know that it had actually existed in the real world.
Yeah.
I didn't play Blood Dragon either.
I've only played 3 and 4, so I don't have a ton of experience, and I loved those games in certain ways and to some extent. I did not have any interest in 5 at all. I don't find the concept of crazy cult leader in America to be particularly interesting to me. It does not
because it's real.
I just don't like that concept as a thing, because I can't logically make it work in my brain because of living here and thinking there's no world in which like the military is not just going to come in and destroy a cult leader who's threatening to blow up the world. And in my world, like that's how my brain functions.
Have you been to Idaho?
No, I've not been to
No.
Idaho, but I didn't play Blood Dragon. I didn't play 5 or New Dawn. I own 6. I do own 6. I don't own 5. I don't care about 5, but I own 6. It's been on my list of games to play because it looks so good and so interesting, and I have found 0 opportunities to play it, unfortunately.
I think my favorite part of all the Far Cry games that I did not experience, but I read about it after the fact, is that you don't even have to play 4. You can just start it and then end the game almost immediately, which fantastic option. Obviously that's not a very good playthrough, but being able to do that is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, because the 4 opens, you're going to like visit your mother's shrine or something, and you want to visit her ashes or place her something about visiting a shrine to her, and the bad guy is like, just wait here a moment, please, and then he'll go away for literally 15 minutes, and then he'll actually come back and bring you over, and then the game ends, and you like you do what you got there for, which is it is cool to do that. I didn't do that until after I beat the game.
Yeah, like I said, I never did it. I just read about it.
Yeah, I like that as well. That's clever. I like things like that.
Yeah, even if you don't do it as your playthrough, and if you obviously you want to play the full game, it's cool that the option is there. I like creative.
Yeah, I like Far Cry 3. I like Far Cry 4. I didn't really know what Blood Dragon was until a couple of years ago when they did the re-release of it, and maybe I'll try it at some point. But yeah, Far Cry is good. Far Cry is a good series. I think a lot of Ubisoft games are overly hated for some reason. None of what they do lately is, oh my goodness, this is the greatest thing ever, but they have made some of the greatest games ever, in my opinion, because I really love those Assassin's Creed 2, 3, or 2 Brotherhood and Revelations. I enjoy that series there. So they have made really great games in the past, even if their current games have been like okay, except for Odyssey, which is fantastic. So
yeah, I have problems hating Ubisoft, and they essentially gave us X33, so kudos to them for firing those people.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about Ubisoft more later, so go on with the next piece of news.
Yeah, our last piece of big news for the week is that because this is my show and Byron's, we can't ignore important Yakuza news. This week we can't, This week, Sega's Ryuga Gotoku Studio, or RGG, announced the upgrade paths for the owners of digital versions of Yakuza 0, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2 in anticipation of the release of the director's cut for 0 and the PS5 native versions for the Kiwamis next week on December 8th. Yakuza 0 director's cut will be available to upgrade for $15, Kiwami for $2, and Kiwami 2 upgrades are free. Worth noting is that the studio has confirmed that the save data from any of the PS4 editions of the games will not carry over to the upgraded versions. So upgrader beware, please. Yeah, that's really it. I'm excited to purchase these for the 17th time. And that's
I'm
really it.
I probably will not play them, but I'm a big fan of whenever you upgrade things, being able to bring your save games over, or at least get something out of the game for having a previous save game. They did that with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, I guess
Let
the
me.
original one. Go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. I'll add on in a second.
I remember the original Metal Gear Solid. Whenever it read your PlayStation save cards and treated it like it knew what you were doing, and they tried to psychoanalyze you with that. That was pretty cool. So I like it whenever it recognizes, especially the same game save data, and
Yeah.
does stuff with it.
So I I think it's all of the Yakuza games from 0, at least 0 through 6. I don't remember if 7 and 8 have it as well, meaning Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth, but 0 through 6 all will read your PlayStation to see if you have played the other games, and they do give you bonuses, like bonus items for having played each and every one of those prior games. Um, the only difference here is that they're just not like the save data is not going to carry over, meaning like if you started in 0, you can't play director's cut and go back to your 0 save. Like it's not, they're not going to be compatible with one another. But if you start with 0 director's cut and then you go into Kiwami, it will read that save and be like, thank you for playing Yakuza 0. Here's your bonus, stamina spark or something like that they give you. I I will buy these. I Of course I will. I don't have the platinum for Kiwami 2 yet. It's on my list to get after. I'm going to do 3 remastered probably this month, actually, or well, next month from where we're recording, this month from when this releases. Oh goodness, that's going to be a nightmare because 3 remastered is affectionately known by the fan base as Blockuza because the enemies do nothing but block when you're fighting them. It is a frustrating platinum and a frustrating game, but I want to get it done before Kiwami 3 comes out in February. So I'll probably try and get that done this month or January. And I have to go back for 2, but there's a mini game in 2 that you have to do in Kiwami 2 that is apparently much, much harder at 60 frames per second than it is at 30 frames per second. So I am not going to upgrade my Kiwami 2 game until I finish the platinum because I don't want to make that mini game harder for me. My friend of the show and listener Koala, he has the platinum in Kiwami, and he actually lowered his computer graphics and settings and everything to get it to be 30 frames per second because it was too hard at his like high speed 120 frames. uh
That's they. I want to say when they did the remaster of Final Fantasy X, it got super difficult to do the lightning dodges because of the faster frame rate or something
mm.
like that. So yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
it's.
things are tied to frame rate like that. You wouldn't expect.
Oh, I mean, I remember back in the days when you had to turn your turbo off on the Wing Commander on your 486 DX66 because it would make it go too fast because they didn't put an internal clock in the game. But
It's a whole bunch of words that I don't know the meaning of.
that's too bad.
But yeah, that's it for the news this week. I'm excited for these Yakuza upgrades. I may have ordered from a store in Portugal a physical release of the steelbook version of the 20th anniversary collector's edition of all 3 of these games already. And by may have, I mean I definitely did. So I will have it physically in this really, really nice collector's edition steelbook box that I'll probably never need to open because I already will own it all digitally. And I also own it physically like 2 or 3 times over because of various purchases, like my limited run games collection of it. I should take a picture of that and show everyone the ones that I have for next week. I can send that to you and we can put it up next time. But yeah, that's that's it for the news this week. Let's just move into what we've been playing, I guess. You ready, Byron?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about how much more I've been playing Void Train, but
Yeah,
honestly,
so
I haven't.
great, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I haven't touched it in a week because I picked up the Crew Motorfest on Game Pass because it looked interesting. I am not a huge fan of racing games where it's just race after race after race after race. I played Gran Turismo quite a bit, and that would be the outlier. But I do love open world racing games. I've played a ton of the Burnout games, and I put in way too much time into Burnout Paradise, the PlayStation version, the computer version, the remastered computer version, and I really love the open world gameplay of these racing games where you get cars, you upgrade cars, you do different kinds of events. So the Crew Motorfest, you have your typical races against a few cars. You have your one-on-one races. You have off-road races. You have air stunt flying. Unfortunately, unlike Burnout, there's no crashing, which is one of the things that I loved about Burnout.
Mm.
And then there are things scattered around the world where you can do speed traps, or you can do escape from a car, or you can challenge rivals. There's a whole collection of other crews that you're trying to best, and there's a storyline in there that I haven't gotten into too much yet because I just been the missions are called playlists, and they have a different theme. So there's an American Muscle playlist where you drive Mustangs and Camaros and Corvettes, and there's an off-road one where you're driving a Ford Bronco off-road in Hawaii, and there's a luxury car one where you drive extremely fancy cars, and a Porsche 911 one where you drive Porsche or Porsches, depending on if you're my dad or not. And they're all fun. I mean, I just have so many of those to play through, and I've been knocking them out one at a time. That I haven't really gotten into the main mission of the game, which I think is, I don't know, racing
Or back to
games,
Void Train.
or back to Void Train, yeah. But it's a racing game. How much does the storyline matter? Not a ton. And it's multiplayer. My downsides of the game is there's obvious. It's a live game that you can also play one player.
Mhm.
So you can play against people, but you can do almost everything without touching another person's play, which is good. But there's also real money transactions in there, which I haven't wanted to do or needed to do, and I'm not gonna do them. I've been able to get stuff. Obviously, you're going to be gate kept with some of the prettier cosmetics, and you have a driver, and so you can get clothes for your driver that you see every once in a while. You can't get out of the car with the exception of the hub, so I don't know how much I care. Um,
What are the cosmetics if not the clothes for the driver? Is it like car cosmetics, like
yeah,
paint
like
jobs and stuff?
there's all kinds of different paint jobs. There's the standard paint jobs that the car would come in if you bought it from Ford or Mazda or Honda or whoever.
Hmm.
But you can also get metallic paint jobs and pearlescent paint jobs, iridescent paint jobs. You can buy different skirting for your cars, different wheels, different graphics for the cars. I'm not an over the top graphics type of guy. I have a car that I love, and I thought about putting stripes on it and decided against it. So I kind of like the just plain car colors.
Hmm.
But yeah, all that stuff. I mean, I've been able to pay in-game currency that I earn through the missions, and I haven't been locked out of that. But I think some of the nicer or prettier over-the-top stuff is going to cost, I think, crew coins or something like that.
Yeah,
There's
sounds
three
about
kinds of
right.
currency in the game. There's like dollars, which you earn from winning, and there's crew points or crew cash, or I don't remember what it's called. I think it's CC. And then there's like mechanic points, which you get for scrapping parts. So you get parts for finding things in the world. Like there's treasure boxes that you can find. You have a radar that tells you where it is, and you have to hunt it down, which is weird because a lot of that stuff is like inside of like a farm area, and it would be a whole lot easier if I get out of the car and just walk on feet. But no, I've got to take my car and drive in between buildings to find this glowing box. But once you've upgraded all the way, you can scrap your old stuff, and then you can use those points to combine lower level parts into higher level parts, or you can trade out the benefits that parts give you. When you get to pink, blue is rare, pink is maybe epic, and then yellow I think is legendary. And the epic and legendary, they have regular stats on them like braking power, horsepower, blah blah blah, but they also have like, oh, you get 4% more nitro whenever you have this modifier equipped to it, and you can swap those out depending on what the item is. But it's a it's a good game. It looks beautiful in HDR. There aren't enough games that do HDR. As an owner of an HDR monitor, I love that. I don't love that it's locked at 60 frames a second. I thought something was wrong when I could only get it to run at 60 frames a second, and then I figured out that's kind of what it's locked at.
Mm.
I have a 240 hertz monitor and a graphics card that will do more than 60 frames a second. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't do
Mm-hmm.
multi-frame gen, which some people hate, but I think is pretty good to get me faster frame rates, and I don't notice the problems with it. But I mean, it looks good at 60 frames a second. The graphics quality looks good, but it's obviously made for consoles and ported over to PC.
Yeah. I've heard that this is the Crew game that has existed because they had the Crew and the Crew 2 and now the Crew
It is
Motorfest.
Crew 3.
This is supposed to be the best one of them. So that's cool. I'm glad that you've seemingly been enjoying it. How many hours would you say you've put in so far?
I'm probably north of 20 now, sub 40, I'm sure. I played quite a bit over the Thanksgiving holiday. I was off obviously
Hmm.
Thursday, but Friday, and then
Yeah.
my wife is out of town this weekend. So yesterday morning I played some, and then last night I played some, and then this morning I played some, and probably tonight. Actually, tonight definitely. I was gonna make a comment about it later. This will come out after the fact, but I'm gonna start testing out live streaming on YouTube. So probably around 7:30 tonight, if you want to operate in the past. I'm gonna stream some of it. I'll make another announcement later on in this show about other streaming. But yeah, feel free to go back to our YouTube channel and watch the results of the streaming, and I'll do my best to talk to people while it's going on.
I find it funny that you're like, oh yeah, I played yesterday, and I'm like, I like barely woke up in time to leave to meet you for lunch yesterday, and you're like, oh yeah, I had all this time yesterday to play before we met up for lunch.
Oh, I also lifted weights before we had lunch. I get up at
Eh.
7 o'clock whether I want to or not.
Oh no, no, not me, not me. I had a dream last night that there was like a Game Pass deal for like $1 for a year. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Hmm.
Couldn't convince myself.
Game Pass is great. I'm going to drop Game Pass from Ultimate down to PC because I don't play my Xbox enough and because it's gotten very expensive. I'll miss out on the cloud streaming. That's always been fun whenever I've been somewhere without a console. I can just get my iPad out and I can
Mm.
stream play whatever I feel like that
The
they
cloud
have.
streaming's not on the PC level of Game Pass.
It is not, because the PC level of Game Pass is like $15 a month and the
Yeah.
Ultimate is like now $30 a month, which is expensive.
Yeah, it is very expensive. It's ridiculous actually.
Yeah, I've been a Game Pass fan for a while, and I still love Game Pass. Microsoft, they do a good job with Game Pass, I think. And even though I don't like the price where it's gone, it's not the deal that it used to be.
Hmm.
Um, I'll probably still do it till my wife tells me not to.
Yeah, I mean PC Game Pass is a pretty good deal for sure at $15 a month or whatever it is now, 12 or 13, 14,
It's
15, something
15.
like that. Is it 15? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good deal.
And I don't think you get a discount for paying. I've been doing it like a quarterly, and I don't think there's a discount for doing multiple months in a row. But
No, yeah, I don't believe they do. It's not like Sony, which gives you discounts for your annual subscription or your 6 month subscription or whatever, 3 months. Yeah. I think I mentioned this. I may not have. I don't really remember. But I have like 10 years of Sony PS Plus Premium stacked up. I'll be good until 2032. So
well, the
yeah,
odds of Sony going under are pretty low.
yeah. They were raising the price, and I was able to. I don't know if it's still this way, but they had like a hard cap on how much extra they would charge you. Um, And so like no matter what I did, like if I bought 5 years or if I bought 10 years, it was still going to be like the same $700 or something like that. And so I was able to I was like, all right, I'll just do that. There's some, I don't remember the exact way it worked out, but well worth it. I'm glad I don't have to think about it. It's paid,
You just got to remember
covered.
to remember it in 2020 or 2032.
Yeah, to cancel the PS Plus Premium and go back down to regular because I don't use any of the features of Premium or Extra really. I don't. But that's the thing is I have this level of investment in it, and then maybe they'll do something that makes it worth having in the future, and I'll already have had it. I'm covered. Like the cloud streaming for the PS Portal, like that's now a thing. If I ever got a PS Portal and I want to start streaming on the cloud, I'm good. I've got it. I've got it covered. So, well, I'm
Well, how
glad
about you?
you're.
No, I was
Uh,
going to move on. Like, what exciting new games have you been playing this week?
yeah, well, I just wanted to finish and say I'm glad you
Oh,
enjoyed the crew. So
yep.
that's great. And for me, I have finally finished Outer Worlds 2. This is the last you'll hear me talk about it until they have DLC, and I'll go back and I'll play that. But I finished it. It's good. It's bad skill point system. That's really all I can say on it. The skill point system is just awful. I had some conversations with some colleagues of mine in seasoned gaming, and I seem to be in the minority in that opinion. But I'm telling you, you can't drastically limit my skill points to 2 per level and level cap me at 30 and not allow me to respec. It's just it's got to be one or the other. It's not fun. It's there's something so unfun about having all of these skills available to you and then being told, okay, you get to choose what you want once, and then you never get to choose it again, because whatever you put that first skill point into, you better stick with it. And if you want to redo it, then you had better start a new game and do it again. So I know, Byron, you had some annoying issues near the end of the game with lockpicking where you didn't have enough to hit the level cap on it and you got screwed out of something.
Yeah, well, I don't know that I got screwed out of anything. Obviously, I couldn't do everything that I wanted to do. I just hate where you're limited so narrowly and you're not told ahead of time, hey, you really only want to hit 2 different skills. Anything more than that, you're not going to be able to max them out. That might have changed how I do things. And they tell you later on, hey, you're really spreading yourself thin. You may want to focus on things. My primaries were speech and I don't remember the other one, but there was 2 of them, and I ended up spreading out into lock picking and hacking, and I lock picked probably more than anything else other than speech. And I got to the end, and there were levels of lockpick that I wasn't able to accomplish because I was like, well, I'd like to get speech up to 20, so I know that I can do the best because I didn't fight any of the bosses the entire game, just
Yeah, me
through
neither.
happen chance at the beginning. And then I was like, well, cool. If I don't have to fight these guys, then I'm just going to speak my way through them and get the same rewards. And I did that, and I wanted to ensure that I can continue to do that. Perception was the other one, speech and perception.
Yeah, the observation one. Yeah. You had to fight some of the companion quest bosses. Those
Mhm.
weren't always avoidable. But yeah, I didn't fight any of the bosses either. I also talked my way through them. Yeah, I just found that so frustrating. I did end up getting my lockpicking up to 11 to get that gun, that level up gun. I used that gun a lot. I got it to like level 22,
I
I
loved
think.
it.
It was great. I was actually a big hammer user. I used the shotgun hammer as my primary damage. Like I could kill almost anything in one shot. If I crit, anything died in one shot, and if I didn't crit, it was like two. Except for like the biggest of the big mechs, and that would maybe take a third one. Yeah, that was that. The weapons in the game are phenomenal. The story is so much better than the first one. The writing, I really liked all the companions more. I personally, if I was scoring this game, it's a 7.5 out of 10. I really have to dock a full point for the skill system and how frustrating it was to just constantly be told no. It was like the game said, "Oh, you don't have enough skills for that. Sorry, go start a new playthrough." Like that's not fun. That is a frustrating thing. That doesn't have to be that way. And I know some people are like, "Oh, well, it means you have to commit to your choices." Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go and play the game a second time. So committing to my choices just kind of makes the experience a worse experience for me. And I think you agree with that, Byron.
Yeah, and also inventory management was abhorrent in the game,
Yeah, not
and
great.
the mods were awful with the unique weapons because you didn't always know what kind of weapon your unique weapon was. You had to go
Yep.
like stare at the pictures and be like, "It looks like that one. Let me try to buy that mod and see if it works." And most of the time you were right, but some of the times you weren't. And
Yep.
just like Festivus, there has to be a better way.
And there weren't a lot of mods. They were really very I don't think I found more than one add-on mod for the repeating rifle. I had my death march or my death march when the execution one. And I never added a barrel on, and I never added an add-on mod to it because the only one I found was explosive shots, and it cut my damage in half or whatever. I was like, nope, I don't want to do that. I don't want my shots to explode and cut my damage in half. So mods not great. The weapons themselves were awesome. I could have used more armor. I think I only found like 2 heavy armor sets in the entire game that were special heavy armor sets. Maybe I found 4. I think I found 4 actually, because at the very end I found a shop that had 2, and I was a heavy armor user because I was not good at guns or anything. I needed to have the protection to keep myself alive.
Yeah, I think
Um,
a lot of people used the bomb suit if they were doing heavy stuff and just ran in
I
and
did. I
exploded
used
things and
yeah
ran out.
yeah. I used the bomb suit almost the whole game until I got the Zeranium suit that let you hover and kept you alive. Like that was it. So good game. Uh, Kept from greatness by what I feel and what I think Byron and some of our viewers agree were bad design choices, even if, a difference of opinion. Some people might like it that way. But that particular choice didn't work for me. I really hope Obsidian, please don't do this in any of your future games. Go back to how you've done it in all of your other games that I've played of yours. Um, yeah, so that's the last we'll talk on Outer Worlds 2. The next topic for me and what I've been playing is I totally intended to start a big new game last night, and I got hooked into playing more Where Winds Meet. It's addictive. It's janky. I think I'm going to review it or do an impressions piece of it because I've really put a lot of time. I put like 20 some odd hours into the game right now. I actually did buy the battle pass last night in the microtransaction because I'd gotten to level 50 in the free pass already, and I was like, I might as well just pay the $20 or $10 or whatever it was to get the extra stuff because I put enough time into it. I like to reward free games with my money when I have enjoyed them sufficiently to give them money, which is why I have given Fortnite like maybe $10 over time. And I've really enjoyed this Where Winds Meet game a lot. I completed the event, the first like timed event quest that they had last night. I don't have any idea, Byron, what that quest was. I am so lost as to what's actually happening when I play the game, that I I just kind of click through and I read quick and I try to listen, but it's like not everything is consistently voice acted, so I'm just skipping through and reading as best I can to understand what's going on. The best I can tell you is this event quest was a man wanted some noodles, and I got him the noodles that he wanted. I believe that is the gist of the event quest. They're involved. Somewhere along the way was a blind little girl and a golden leaf and a banquet from 15 years ago that we somehow had today as well. And that was about it. I don't have any clue what else was going on there, but it was
Sounds
so fun.
enthralling.
It was so fun. It's so fun to just run around and just like do these things. And I really like fighting and I really like exploring and opening chests and watching all the numbers go up. It's one of those things where it's janky, it's got its problems. It does. It definitely does. It's not an 8 or a 9 kind of game. It has so many problems. It's in that like 6 to 7 range for a score. Um where if you don't like the jank, it's probably going to be like a 5 for you. If you don't like the jank and you don't care about exploring and running around the world, it's probably like a 5. If you like exploring and you don't really care about the jank, it's like a 6.5. And if you're in, like it's so unique in what it is. Like for example, I finally figured out healing. I am now a healer in the game. I found real people in the game who were injured, and I went over to them and I healed them by doing button presses and selecting things, and they were no longer injured and they were healed.
Were they
Um,
lepers?
no, they weren't lepers. This person had a mental breakdown. That's what it was, and I used my magical chi healing to heal them. It's so weird, man. But just
Did you have to
in
cast the demons into
I
animals?
I did not. I did not cast demons into animals,
Okay.
unfortunately. I actually, in this instance, for the one real person that I healed. I just had to press one button because I'd gotten my healing mastery so high by purchasing books in the game that helped me learn and increase my healing mastery. There's so many layers and so many systems, and I'm so lost so much of the time. And yet, the more I play, the more I understand it. Where like when I started the game, I would be like, "Oh, this is okay. This is fine. Like it's a mediocre game. It's nothing great. It's probably like a 5 or, in that like probably watch out for it. Maybe don't play it, but you could check it out because it's free." And the more I play, the more I've learned the systems and the more I've grown to enjoy it. And it's like that kind of thing where as you learn, you love it more and more. Um, I don't know. Does that make sense to you?
From your descriptions, it sure sounds like a 5 to me. And what you're describing, to quote a Christmas movie, it sounds like the Helsinki syndrome, where you start to empathize with your captors.
Isn't that Stockholm syndrome?
You haven't watched Die Hard.
No, I have not.
Ah, yeah. Go watch Die Hard.
Um, it's it has the qualities of a 5, but the hopes of a 10, and it kind of like meets in that middle of that like 7 range for me because I think it is good because the things about it that are good are actually really good, Byron. Like it it is really good to play. When you are fighting and running around and doing the combat and the activities in the game, it is really good. And then when you're talking to people, it's really confusing, but you can tell that it's very thoughtful. It's thoughtfully written. It's just hard for a Westerner to wrap their head around.
I
Um,
feel like there's too much good around there to spend my time with mediocre.
I agree. I do agree that I would not recommend this game for most people to play. But if what I'm talking about sounds interesting, it's worth checking out for a couple hours because it's so easy to get into if you have the 110 gigabytes on your storage to download it.
Sounds like Call of Duty.
Yeah. It's probably more fun than Call of Duty is though.
I mean, I'm not playing that either.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's I don't know if I'll end up reviewing it. I'll maybe I'll just do impressions on it, but I feel like I put so much time into this game. I got to do something for it. Like something needs to come out of it in a written form because I have so many thoughts. So we'll
I mean,
see what I decide to do.
you have talked about it for about 3 hours now, right? That's
Uh,
something.
yeah, not three
This counts.
hours. Well, yeah, that's true, but I haven't talked that much about it, and like I don't know. Yeah, I just I like it. I like it a lot. I wish it wasn't as weird and janky as it was, I have to say, because sometimes like things just don't load in. But they're constantly updating it, and they actually announced yesterday or a couple days ago, maybe like on in their patch notes that they were going to be fixing a few things. They're going to be implementing HDR, Byron. They said they're going to add HDR in, so we'll see how that goes. But and then the last thing I'm playing here, I know I've been talking a lot, everyone, so I do apologize for that, but I did want to try to get something new into this episode for everyone here. And realizing I had not played anything new and it was way too late to start that new big game that I wanted to start, I decided to buy Rematch while it was on sale and give that a shot. I'd wanted to try it for a while, so I used some of my remaining PlayStation Stars money to buy it at a 25% off discount for the Black Friday sales. It's fun, but it's challenging. I definitely need to play more to improve. I did maybe 5 matches. I think I won 2 of them. It's 3v3, so I think I scored 1 goal in all the matches. But I like it. I like what's here. I need to get my buddy Brooks to buy it. Have you heard of Rematch, Byron? Do you have any interest? Do you even know what it is?
I have no idea. It sounds like it might be soccer or Rocket League or something like that.
It is both of those. It is both of those. It is third person camera perspective, not like looking down on a field like a soccer game, like a FIFA game or whatever, EAFC, but you are playing a single player and you are on the soccer pitch 3v3, and it is like Rocket League because you're like sliding around and you're bumping people and the ball doesn't ever go out of the thing. It's like it's in an enclosed space, so the ball's never like out of play. And you're just playing soccer. You are playing. They have. They're. I don't know if they have them or they're coming, but they're supposed to have like 4v4 and 5v5 modes as well in the future. Right now, it's just 3v3. It's seamless switching into goalkeeping. So if you run into the box, then you just get goalie gloves and you become the goalie. And
Hmm.
you can use your hands and dive and catch and do things. And then if you leave the box, then you're just a player again and you
Sounds
can
like
run
indoor
around.
soccer.
I don't know. I don't know how indoor soccer works.
Oh, so indoor soccer is typically in a gymnasium. Um, because it's a smaller area, it's not 11 versus 11. You do have a goalie. The goal is smaller, but there's no out of bounds. I mean, you can go out of bounds, but in the proper setup, it's more like an ice hockey rink where
Mm.
the walls are the boundary, and if it goes over the wall, great. I mean, there'll be an out of bounds play, but by and large, the ball doesn't leave the field of play because it bounces off the walls and keeps going.
Yeah, that's kind of what this is. I don't think it's possible for the ball to leave in this instance, but yeah, that's what it is. It's really fun. It's kind of hard because you have running, like regular running, and then you have a sprint, and then you have like a boost ability, and then you have to touch the ball, like tap the ball to keep it moving, because otherwise people can tackle you and steal the ball. And you have to shoot the ball with like you have a like an aiming reticle in the middle of the screen that shows you like where the ball is going to go if you shoot it, and you're supposed to angle it where you want to go. And I think there are ways to like make it curve and do fancy tricks. I haven't figured out how to do it quite so fancily yet, but you can
It
do.
doesn't use motion to.
No, it doesn't use
They
the
they build the
motion.
motion in their controllers. They're famous for it, and you can't use that to turn the.
I don't believe so. I've
What a
not tried.
waste! Come on, Sony.
Um, you can do things like what it the when you kick the ball over your head to like as a trick to get the ball out of the way. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
I
do
don't.
that. Yeah, I don't remember what that move is called, but you can do that to help dodge. And there's passing the ball, and the passing is based on where the player is facing, not where the camera is facing. So you need to actually like angle your player correctly, or you're gonna totally miss your pass. It's a there's a lot to it. It's pretty simple in concept, but in mastery, it's really hard. I'm terrible at it so far, but I want to play more. I want to experience it more. You like sports and stuff? Does this game interest you at all?
I mean, I could be open to it. I'd
It'd
have
be
to
fun to
find
play.
time to
We should.
play it.
I mean, we could play together. You could get it for. It's like $23 right now.
Oh, I know where my next $20 is going already. We'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
see. Maybe it
20.
goes on sale.
This is it on sale. I mean,
Oh,
it's $30 normally. It's 25% off right now.
I think
Um,
$20 is probably the buy-in price for a game like that. Honestly, if not free to play.
yeah, I was surprised it wasn't free to play too. It's actually so the developer is Slow Clap. Slow Clap made Sifu. Do you remember Sifu, that martial arts
Uh,
game from a few years ago?
I remember the movie. I don't remember the game.
So Sifu was a martial arts game where every time you died, you grew a you grew like 1 year older, or then it like doubled. So you grew 1 year, and then you grew 2 years, then you grew 4 years, then you grew 8 years, and your character slowly like just aged up as you died and failed in the game. It was very martial
But
arts timing
rapidly,
based.
rapidly grew older as you died each time. It sounds like
Yeah.
exponentially even.
Yeah, yes, it was an exponential increase. Yeah. I never played it myself, but that's the gist of it. And from what I understand, it was a very fun game. And then the studio came out with Rematch, which is this totally different soccer like game. Um, I would say give it a shot if you have $20 to spare, $23, and it's 22.50. If you have $22.50 to spare and you want to have some fun, it's worth checking out. In my limited time playing. I can't obviously fully recommend it yet because I haven't put enough time. But if you are interested in what I'm saying, I think that it might be fun for the audience and fun for you, Byron. It'd be fun to play with you if you want. If you want to buy it, we can give it a go and play a couple matches together. We'll have you and me and then a rando playing with us.
I'll
So
keep my eyes open, ears open. I'll,
yeah,
I'll have an open
it
opinion about it.
it's actually they have three different editions of this game, and they're all like different prices because it is one of those games that has the store in the shop. Like it's designed around, you pay a lower entry fee, and then you have the shop to make the microtransactions and all that stuff. And then you buy the premium edition, which gives you all these bonuses towards that to start off with. I was like, I don't need any of that. I just want to check this game out for $20. Well worth it. I actually I did take advantage of the PSN sale last night. I bought three things. I bought that game. I bought the season pass for Final Fantasy 16, and I rebought Pirate Yakuza. I bought Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii because I own the physical collector's edition of it, but that's in Florida, and I don't really want to open it because it's a physical collector's edition right now, and I don't want to open it at the moment. So I'm just gonna leave it nice and safe and sound. and I'm gonna play the digital deluxe version that I purchased for like $37 or something. It's 50% off right now.
I think if we
So
stacked your Yakuza games on top of each other, we would have an elevator to the moon.
pretty close, pretty darn close. Yeah, so I took advantage of that sale last night, and I'm pretty happy with it. I used half of my I had like $40 in PlayStation Stars money sitting there, so the only thing I actually bought was the Pirate Yakuza. The rest of it was covered. Did you play the DLC for 16?
I have not. I didn't finish 16. I
No.
was plus minus on 16. I need to get back to it. I'm not. It depends on the game, but I'm not the world's biggest action RPG fan. I want my Final Fantasy games preferably turn based.
Hmm.
If not that, then real time. But yeah, that I it was action, but it was also simple, and I don't know. I people love it, and the music is really good. I need to get back to it at some point.
I agree with you. I think the combat is the weakest part of 16, by a long shot for sure. And I I know it's simple. I want to say I know that it's a simple combat system. I was terrible at it. I definitely died on the normal difficulty a few times. I was not good. I did not like the cooldowns and managing cooldowns like that. I was not good at that game. That's part of the reason I didn't bother to go for the platinum, because there were time trials in there, and I would have had to be like really good at the time trials, and I was no, not gonna do this. I played the game through. It's part of the reason I didn't buy the DLC is like I was not really eager to get back into the combat system. Also, it was like $30 for the DLC, and I was like, that's a bit steep for this stuff. So at 50% off, I was like, all right, I'll give that a shot. That's probably worth it, because I do like the game, and I think the story was really good. And I mean, Clive is fantastic. Clive is an amazing protagonist. In Ben Starr does just a wonderful job. Jill is a great character. I wish there was more Sid. I thought Ralph Ineson was so good as Sid in that game. I wish he was in it more. How far did you get?
I probably got a quarter into the game is a good guess.
Did you get to the time jump?
I did not.
Oh,
Wait, no, I did. Yeah, that the prologue, and then you fast forward like a decade.
and then you
Yeah.
fast forward another decade.
Okay, then I didn't get to the second one. I don't
Yeah,
think.
because there's the prologue, and then you fast forward, and then you go to the hideaway, and you have Sid and everything there, and then
Yeah.
there's another time jump later on.
Okay, I don't remember the second one, so I didn't get that far.
That's what you should stream.
Yeah, then I'd have to have a capture box that I don't have. So maybe
uh,
one day, but for right now, PC.
Fair enough. You could rebuy it.
I will not.
Well, I think that'll do for what we've been playing. Do you have any questions about rematch or anything? You want to know anything at all? Any
No,
curiosities?
I think we've got a pretty good idea of what it is. Maybe I'll try it, maybe not. We'll see. But I know what I'm looking forward to buying next, that I'll talk about at the end.
All right. Well, let's move on to our wild card segment. Byron, I'm going to
Yeah.
throw it to you.
Well, it wouldn't be Thanksgiving if we didn't talk about things that we're thankful for in video games. So I'll start off, and then I'll pass it on to you, and feel free to jump in and interrupt. I am very thankful for fast travel. I don't want to spend my entire game running through places that I've been before. I talked about the Crew some, and the Crew has a fast travel feature, but it's not fully fleshed out. There's a starting point for each of your playlists, and it's not where the missions necessarily are. So the only place that
Uh,
you can fast travel to is where the starting point is. So you may have to drive 20 kilometers after that to get to the next place. Um, so I don't love that, but games that do it right, I'm appreciative of fast travel.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And next thing on my list is devs who support their games long term. And I don't think it should always require the games to have trouble at the beginning, but that seems to be the impotence that makes it
Yeah.
happen. So, CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk, it did not do so well, but they continued on with it, and probably even better. Hello Games has done an
Mm.
absolutely fantastic job with No Man's Sky. I played it when it came out. I enjoyed it kind of when it came out, but it didn't keep me very long.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they started just re-releasing, or I guess repeatedly releasing updates for it that were more than most games have in DLCs, and they did multiple a year, and you never paid anything else for them. And they have now what is a fantastic game that I've played until the as much as you can play to the end in the game. It's a great game, and I need to get back into it because it's been a year since I played. So it's probably a completely different game than it was a year ago. And
Mm-hmm.
great job, Hello Games, even if you didn't do it well from the beginning.
Yeah, I appreciate devs who support their games, but part of it is also it's a little annoying for me because I am a one-time player. I really don't play games more than that first time. And so if a game isn't as good as it's going to be at launch, I kind of miss out on it because I also played No Man's Sky when it launched. I only played it for maybe like 5 hours or something. And then I was like, all right, I'll get back to this at some point. And I was playing on PS4. Um, and I just never did. And then they've done all of this stuff to it. And then I get to the point where I'm like, I'll wait until they're done. I'll wait until they're done updating a game, and then I'll just play all of it because that's easiest for me. As I break games down basically into three categories. I either play the game at launch and beat it, and then I don't touch it again until all the DLC is out. I play a game after all the DLC is out altogether, and I didn't play it at all, or I just play the game and I skip the DLC because I didn't care about the game enough to bother with the DLC. Like those are my categories of gameplay really, and uh, it's hard when they just keep updating it. Like I played Baldur's Gate 3 at launch and I missed out on all the like cool new endings they added in there because I don't want to go back and do another 100 hours.
Yeah, I'd like to play Baldur's Gate again. I could do it. Unlike other games we've talked about, I think that I could play Baldur's Gate again and have a completely different experience than I did the first time. And I know people
Yeah,
who have played it dozens of times now.
yeah, Yeah, I agree that you can have a completely different experience, but the overarching story is going to be the same, and there's so many other games to play, and that's what stops me from going back. But I appreciate the work that the devs put into fixing the games when they released them broken. I do wish that they didn't release broken in the first place. Look, like Cyberpunk.
Well, yeah, I think we've talked about the reasons for that in the past, and I don't think that's
Yeah,
going away with unless you have independent studios. But
yeah,
um,
uh,
yeah, and then I'll have my wish for Christmas coming up, and that's if you're going to have escort quests or follow quests in games, can we please get auto follow back? I hate escort quests, but Assassin's Creed Revelations, my favorite part of any video game was the feature with auto follow. You have to walk through the streets of Istanbul, Constantinople. I don't remember which one it was. Um,
Constantinople.
I didn't have to do anything. I could just listen because Ezio followed the other guy through town, and I could just sit there and watch. And that's great. I don't want to do that. I don't have to hold the stick down to follow the guy for 5 minutes. Let me do that.
I don't mind holding the stick down if the walking pace is the same as the
It's never
person.
the same.
It's not, but occasionally it is. You would really like Kingdom Come Deliverance two's system where you can just hold a button down and it triggers the auto follow and you just follow. That's it. It's very simple. It works very well. Um, and then what's cool about it is you'll occasionally get dialogue choices while you're following, and so you can just chill, not holding the button down to follow, but you can then watch for the dialogue choices to pop up, and you can give the answers.
Yeah, and some of the Assassin's Creed games have had auto road follow, which is kind of similar. It doesn't beat fast travel, but
I have to say, I played Shadows after they added that feature back in because they did not have it at launch. I
it
could
was in
not
previous
imagine.
games. Why would they
I
remove
know.
it?
I know. Well, they also removed the ability to have a torch anywhere you want, but that was for whatever reason. So that was stupid. But I don't know why they removed it, but I could not imagine that game without that in there because that game is huge and there are so many places to go and you're going to new locations that you haven't been to. I just put a dot on the map, say go, and she just, now I just followed the road there and it got, it cleared out everything. It was so much more efficient to explore that way. I have other problems with Shadows, but I think they fixed a lot of them. I have to go back and do the DLC. That's an example of I played the base game. I'm not going to touch it until they're done supporting it. That's what I did with the Star Wars Outlaws too.
Well, how about you? What are you thankful for?
Yeah, I'm thankful for colorblind settings, or accessibility settings in general. I do have a slight red-green color blindness in my eyes here, and I have trouble differentiating between certain shades. And in general, I tend to ignore colors because I'm oftentimes wrong about what color they are, so I just don't pay attention. So you never really want to ask me, what color am I wearing, or what color was that thing last week, because I probably didn't pay attention to it, because my brain is most likely wrong anyway. So I'm grateful for games that either take that into account already. I think Avowed did not need accessibility settings because the whole game was designed around colorblind friendliness. I think their art director
Hmm.
was colorblind, and so it was factored in that way, which I thought
Well,
was really cool.
that is, and to one up that, I mean, not this part, but I don't have colorblind issues. I'm not hard of hearing, but I understand how important it is for games to put the accessibility settings at the start of the game
Yeah.
before you do anything else. It doesn't affect me. It slows me down by about 30 seconds. And I know there are people who are probably reeing at the screen whenever that happens. But you know what? I can be inconvenienced for a slight amount to make something more accessible for the people who need it.
Yeah, because when you don't do that, you miss out on that experience. Whatever the opening piece of the experience is, you don't get to see it or fix it in the way that is best for you to experience it. Like, if I am so happy that games at bare minimum have started putting subtitles as like a, do you want your subtitles on, yes or no? It's like the first option that games will put in there,
Or
which I
start with
think
them and
is,
let you turn them off. That's fine to me
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I'm a huge subtitle fan. I love subtitles on everything, because I think that whoever was the best sound mixer in the world failed at teaching people how to sound mix things, because nobody can mix sound correctly anymore in movies, TV shows, video games. It's never balanced correctly, and I feel like you just need to read what's happening. I watched Nuremberg with my dad, and I was like, this movie needs subtitles.
I think I know the reason for that. I don't know that people don't know how to mix sound. I think that when you're looking at studio releases of movies, they're excellently done, but you can't engineer your sound for every TV and every sound system
Yeah.
and every set of headphones. Um,
But even
I
in
ha-
theaters, like, it's still sometimes not perfect.
I mean, I rarely have issues in theaters, but on
Yeah.
TV, oftentimes, like, oh man, the dialogue is way too low for the sound, and I typically have pretty good sound systems, so it may be
Yeah.
the mix, it may be the broadcast, I don't know, but
Yeah, I
it's
mean, it's
harder when you have
definitely
multiple variables.
it's definitely worse on TVs and stuff, but I have that experience in movies too. I feel like I just wish there were subtitled versions all the time. But
You can get
uh
special glasses for that. They have them at most theaters, honestly.
yeah. Yeah, for me it's like I just feel like people mumble, or like I miss like that one word, and I'm like, "Oh, what was that one word that they said that was like muffled or whatever?" Anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you have to
I'm
throw Michael Bay movies out. Like you can't hear the words because of the explosions.
So I'm grateful for those things, and I'm going to look angrily at Guerrilla Games, because Guerrilla does not have color blindness settings. They get so awarded and lauded for all of their wonderful accessibility things. And generally speaking, there's a lot of wonderful things about Guerrilla Games. Horizon, love the Horizon games. We talked a lot about that before, but they don't have anything for color blindness, Byron, at all. Did you ever look at that? Did you ever notice that? Nothing.
As somebody who's not colorblind, it's easy for me not to notice. Um, I'll push back a little bit and say, as long as you can see yellow, you're pretty okay in the Horizon series.
No, you're not. And the reason why, no, I'll tell you why.
It's a
The
joke, but go ahead.
I know us. The blight, I think is what it's called
The
in the
ground
second
crap, yeah,
game, is
black and red,
impossible for me to see
red and
ag-
grass are the same thing, I guess.
against the grass and the red. Yeah, it's literally the red of the blight and the green of the grass. I can't tell you how many times I walked into blight, had no idea I was standing in it, and then just had like a giant chunk of my health gone because I had no idea that I was standing in it at all.
I guess
I
it's
had
hard for you
no
in
clue.
MMOs too, where they say don't stand in the red, dummy.
I think that World of Warcraft moving away from supporting mods is one of the dumbest things that Blizzard has ever done, and I think that it's going to doom the game. They're removing the wide open mod support that they've had for 20 years, starting with the new expansion. And I think that's a horrible idea because you need those mods, because sometimes the developers, as good as they are and as hard as they work, they don't catch all of the accessibility issues. They don't catch all of the problems, and the mods are the support for that. And like the get out of that, don't stand in that, I'll highlight this specific thing. Like it, as a person who was a hardcore raider for a very long time, mods were extremely important. And I think that they're going to hurt themselves by not having mod support anymore. But that said, yeah, I think that Gorilla needs to add some sort of better indicator for its blight and things like that. One thing I want to say on colorblindness was I remember The Witcher 3 was one of the first games that I really used colorblindness settings on, and the reason for that is you played The Witcher 3, of course, right? So what?
No, The Witcher 3 will be on my list of things to play probably in stream.
Oh, you've never played it at all?
We talked about this. Yeah, they're re-releasing what one, so
Oh,
well,
that's right. We did talk about that. I totally forgot. Yeah, they're
yep,
remaking one. Okay, so Batman, Detective Vision. You know the Detective Vision?
yep.
The version of that that I use, because I don't think about Detective Vision, I think of Witcher Sense. There's a version of that in the Witcher game. Okay,
You
so
mean
you're
Eagle
caught up.
Sight?
Yeah, Eagle Vision, but
Yeah.
better because you can move around more effectively. But yes, Eagle Vision. Yeah. So the Witcher Sense, it highlights everything in red by default, and
Mm.
I, for the life of me, couldn't see anything that it was highlighting because it was so bad for my eyes. And they had a color blindness setting in there, and it turned it into this really like bluey purpley thing. I was like, this is wonderful, this is great, I love it, I love it, it's awesome. And when The Witcher 3 came out, they had this setting. It was broken. Every time you started the game, you had to turn the setting back on. It reset the color, just the color blindness setting. Nothing else reset but the color blindness setting.
That's what you get for being colorblind.
It
Try
was
harder next
it's
time.
so funny. And then I want to give a special shout out to Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. It's like a, I don't remember what color it's supposed to be for like map markers and stuff, but I turned color blindness on that, and it's just like perfect color. It's like great. I love it.
But it doesn't change the name of the game.
No, it doesn't change the name of the game. I think they actually make it this. I think it's like red markers naturally, and it turns it into this like bright pink. And I was like, okay, I can do bright pink. Bright pink is okay. So yeah, those are that's my rant on accessibility and color blindness. I'm grateful for difficulty modes as well. I think that the more people who have access to a game, the better. I don't care if you people who play your FromSoft games argue that it's going against creative vision and whatnot. Doesn't take anything extra to just tune the difficulty down, because the option is there. Options are always better than no options. Period. That's not even something that you can argue. It's always better to have an option.
And who am I to tell you how to have fun in a game that you like? I don't. As long as it's not a multiplayer game and you're cheating, like I don't care what you do. Have fun. That's the point.
Yeah. And even if there is a multiplayer game and you're cheating, then have a cheaters mode. Have a mode for cheaters.
Or put you in your own little sandbox.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, the cheater sandbox. Exactly. Options are I am a fan of options for everything. Competition, options, give people a choice, you know. And then if you have specific things you want to go for, like specific things you want to accomplish, like, oh, I want this really hard trophy. All right, well then you can go and do the really hard trophy on the really hard mode. But that doesn't mean that Byron shouldn't be able to play the game at all. Like he should be allowed to go and play that really hard game on an easier difficulty. So I'm very grateful for games that have difficulty modes.
Yeah, let people play the game, finish the game. Um, Things that are for trophies, like killing all the Valkyries, like that would minimize the accomplishment if you made it one hit kill on all the Valkyries in God of War. But as
And you
somebody who
can
did
do the
that,
Valkyries on easy mode. So there you go.
oh, can you and get the achievement for it? Well,
Yeah,
dang, now
but it's still hard because they're still hard fights. It's just not as hard.
it's not as hard.
I didn't do it. I just know that you can. Because Colin Moriarty talks about how he just lowered the difficulty when he talks
Huh.
about the platinum for it.
Yeah, I platted that, and I platted God of War 2. Both fantastic games, and both are accomplishments to do that. They were hard games to do.
I have Ragnarok sitting on the couch in there. I haven't played it yet. I always bring it with me as something I want to play because I played 2018. I just haven't had an opportunity to play Ragnarok yet.
I love all the God of War games, especially the newer ones.
I think they're good. I don't have any extreme fondness for them, but I like them. I do enjoy them. And then the last one for me is autosaves and save anywhere. I am a huge Yakuza fan. Everyone knows I'm a huge Yakuza fan. We just talked about that for a little bit. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut adds autosaves to the game. A game from 2015 had no autosaves. You had to run up to a phone booth and manually save your game. And if you didn't manually save your game, you were gonna lose everything if you died.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm okay with limits on auto saves depending on
Oh,
if there
yeah.
are certain story elements, but in general, and don't let your auto saves erase your manual saves. I have played
Yeah.
games where they just keep overwriting, and that's a problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think
I'm
the
going to
Outer
save
Worlds
scum on my single player game, so
I'm a huge save scummer. That's my favorite way to play games. I think that the Outer Worlds 2 did it a really good way. It's unfortunate that you were limited to 50 saves. I was at save 47 by the time I
oh
finished the
good lord,
game.
I didn't get that far. I think I probably had I try to go 5 to 10 saves, and after that I figure that I need to call them out.
Yeah, I was at 47. 47 was my final save. um
Hmm.
you don't even want to know my Baldur's Gate 3 saves. My Baldur's Gate 3 saves got to be something like 150, just constantly saving new save files
No
there.
wonder
Like
your
I
hard drive is full.
Uh, I do have lots of save files. That is true. But yeah, autosaves and save anywhere are wonderful things. It's actually one of my biggest complaints about the Mafia series is that none of those games let you save the game manually. You just have to hope that the game is saved. At all. Like you can't. It's not save anywhere. Like I don't know where the checkpoint is going to start me. I don't know when I save to quit. So it just saves the game. I'm like, that's not cool. Give me an autosave that I know, and give me it like let me save anywhere so that I can save the game and know that I'm good to go and just start wherever I am. Um Baldur's Gate 3, you can literally save in the middle of combat. That's wonderful. I love that you can just save a game in the middle of combat. Oh, didn't work, just reload. You can save just before a dice roll. I did that so many times and just save scummed it over and over again.
Yeah,
Um
and there are people. What is it? They play Baldur's Gate without any kind of. It's a difficulty level, right? You can change it so you
yeah.
can't do that, and
Yeah.
you have to take whatever the role is. And I don't know. That's not for me, but
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to what was I gonna say? Now I'm blanking on it. We were talking Baldur's Gate and uh now I'm blanking. I can't remember what it was. It was a shout out to something along these lines of saving files here. Oh well, if I remember it, I'll say it later. But yeah, those are my things. Is the autosave and the save anywhere functionality. I like having that flexibility, that freedom to just plop a save file. You're good. You're safe. Oh, I remembered. I want to say along the lines of saving and save scumming. I'm thankful for SSDs and the SSD revolution, uh, which I don't know how it was for you on PC, but Outer Worlds 2 did not make very good use of the SSD. Loading a save in that game took like 15 or 20 seconds.
I had no problems with it whatsoever. It loaded fast.
it wasn't it wasn't like a PS4 slow, but it was like 15 seconds to load a save sometimes.
I mean, I was on PC. My computer is significantly faster than even a PS5 Pro, so
Yeah, but
I
the
have
SSD speed is probably about the same. The actual speed of the SSD.
the PS5 is probably a Gen 3, and I've got a Gen 4, which I think is double the speed. The
No,
throughput
I
is
think it
probably
is
not
Gen.
far.
I think it's Gen 4. I think they have like the ultra fast one that you needed a special one. I'm pretty sure.
Hmm. Well, you still got to process it, and my computer is much faster, so I didn't have a problem
Yeah.
at all. It very well could be that Outer Worlds was designed for PC and then ported to PlayStation. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't anything like, oh, this is horrible. I noticed it because I loaded a lot of times, like even if you die, you have to load if you die. I'm like, I gotta wait,
Now, if you
load.
want to talk
Ugh.
about slow load times, the Crew Motorfest is a minute plus to start up.
Oh no.
And the reason why I believe it uses a anti-cheat software, something um,
Hmm.
and I've heard people say that's the reason because I was like, my computer is way too nice for this to take so long to load the game from launch,
Yeah,
and that's what it is.
I see. But yeah,
Yeah,
those are my thankful things. Happy Thanksgiving, post Thanksgiving, everyone, and thank you all for listening to us, by the way. We do appreciate it. I think that in terms of what we're thankful for, Byron and I are both thankful for our audience, our dedicated listeners, and our growing fan base. We appreciate it. Thank you
100%.
for it. So, what else, Byron?
Well, we're going to increase the wild card this week. So the next thing I want to talk about is Skyrim. You know him, you love him, the large blue locomotive with a face. He saved the world with the help of Sanic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the video game Donkey for Skyrim. And the reference that I'm putting out there is the modder who likes to add Thomas the Tank Engine to all the video games has said that he's going to continue doing it. He's going to do it in Skyrim, and copyrights be damned. And I just want, you're an attorney, you have more than a passing knowledge of copyrights, trademarks, etc.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So any use of copyrighted material is subject to the copyright laws. That includes the law of fair use. Fair use of something is a statutory piece of the law now that actually originates from the case law. They enshrined it in the 70s when they made the latest version of the Copyright Act. And essentially it looks into whether or not a piece of copyrighted material is being used for a number of factors. Primarily, it's whether how much of the work has been taken, whether the work is being used for commercial purposes, whether that work being used is going to impact the market for the original creator of it who wants to sell it. And there's one other one that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. It's not that big of a deal, but you know, this guy who makes these Sonic mods, Mattel can be mad at him all they want, but he's not making money off of it. He's not doing anything that, you know, that is going to hurt their market. He's not going to damage the brand of Thomas the Tank Engine.
If he was making it lewd, then I would agree with them wanting to stop him. But just for the fun of it, I mean, it's you could almost make a parody argument with it.
Yeah, a parody is a part of fair use. It is a part of that they fall. A parody is a version of fair use. It would be a subset of it. Yeah, and I think that Mattel is just gonna be all grumpy about it because they don't want people using their stuff. And I get it to some extent. You know, they do own it. It is their property, but the guy who's doing it isn't really doing anything that's gonna make other people upset. The main problem with fair use, Byron, is it's what's called an affirmative defense. Are you familiar with that concept?
I've heard it. Go ahead and explain it again, please.
It's essentially it means that you admit that you are doing the thing that they are accusing you of doing, but you're saying doing that thing wasn't illegal or doing that thing didn't violate the law. Was not you were even though you did the thing and you were being sued for, you were saying I was allowed to do the thing. And anytime you're starting from a stance of I'm allowed to do the thing, you're already operating from a slight disadvantage just in the fact that part of the burden of a trial is proving that you did the thing, and that burden lies with the person initiating the lawsuit. So if Mattel is saying you infringed our copyright to the modder, instead of him going, no, I didn't infringe anything, he has to be like, no, you're right, I did infringe it, but it was fair use. So the burden of proving that the infringement happened is removed at that point. Now you can have an affirmative defense as an alternative theory. I don't know what his theory would be that says he wasn't infringing because it's very clear that he was infringing. So it starts him. There are always gray areas in whether things are infringing or not infringing, and some are less gray than others. This is one of the less gray ones, I would say, because he just took Thomas and put it in somewhere else. Um, but because of that, he now has to start with the affirmative defense as the baseline. So that would be the hardest part, and then of course you deal with the costs of court and lawyers and all that, and that if Mattel tried to sue him, he probably would stop. Even though he's in the right, he would probably stop if they actually filed a lawsuit because he would have to put money on the line. He would have to pay the lawyers to,
There's plenty
to
of
do it.
places out there that would represent somebody. EFF might do it,
Yeah,
honestly.
they might. You're right. There are places that might do it, but you would need to find someone to do it is the point. And if you couldn't find someone to do it, then you'd probably want to stop.
Yeah,
So
I'm a huge fan of Thomas the Tank Engine. I've met Thomas. My kid has a piece of Thomas's food from whenever we met Thomas, which is of course Cole. Um, I've watched almost all the series, so Alec Baldwin, Ringo Starr. I've watched all of them, and we had the Thomas stuff with my kid growing up. But this is just good fun. Enjoy your mods. Don't do anything gross,
yeah.
and just have fun.
I agree. I like Thomas as well. I don't like him that as much. I grew up watching some of his stuff, but I know the character and whatnot, but I couldn't have named like the voice actors or any of that part of it.
Yeah, they're very little known people, not just one of the most famous actors and famous musicians in the history of
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like that,
entertainment.
that's why I have minimal exposure to the history of Thomas. But
All
yeah,
right,
I'm glad that he does it. I like that people mod things and put that stuff in. It's fun. I like the creativity that people get to express.
yeah. All right. Well, I think that's done it for our wild card today. Do you want to talk about some upcoming games this week?
Yeah, we have a few games that are coming up this week. Not a ton, but more than I don't think we had any last week, right? So this is a
Maybe
couple.
one, maybe
Yeah. Oh,
zero.
yeah. Last
It's
week
a
was
light
Mount and
week.
Blade. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Last week was War Sales. That's right, which is out. So upcoming this week, of note for not for me, but for a lot of people, is Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Any interest in Cosmic Invasion, Byron?
Is that the shooter for Rivals, or is that something different?
That's different. That's a beat 'em up.
Okay. Nope.
Okay. Well, it's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on December 1st. Uh, Next up is Assassin's Creed Shadows is finally launching on Switch 2 on December 2nd. Did you play Shadows at all? I don't think you have.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a third of the way through it.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good. I
Yeah.
didn't like the base building so much, but which is typically a strong area for me. But anyway, yeah, I won't buy it on Switch 2 because I don't have a Switch 2 and I already have it on PS5.
Yeah, its base building was a little underdeveloped. Or sorry, you're talking about the actual building of the base. Yeah, I
Yep.
didn't care about the actual building of the base either. I thought that the upgrading system was a little bit underdeveloped. I upgraded everything pretty quickly to max level in terms of you know upgrading your blacksmithing shop and whatnot. I didn't really customize my layout very much. I just kind of placed stuff wherever it would fit, um, and was convenient for me. I'm sure you did the same, as at least as
I
far
think,
as you got into it.
yeah, as far as I got into, I think I built two buildings and that's about it. And then I looked and saw, oh, I've got to go grind out some materials. I'll come back to this later.
Yeah, the material grinding is pretty easy because there's always like each region has the contracts that give you the materials, and you can get them pretty efficiently. It's still there is a grind to it to some extent, but the whole game has grinding to it. Like, yeah, I mean, I got the platinum in it. It's a big grind. I like it. I wish I liked it more than I did. I still think it is better than Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I just didn't care much for Valhalla's whole setup and system. The setting was cool. I just wasn't a fan of that. But I still think Odyssey is their best game in the last decade or so. In that Greek Isle setting. Big fan of that. And Cassandra. Cassandra's the best. She's so
Yep.
good. Next up is Red Dead Redemption, as we discussed a couple weeks ago, is coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, iOS, and Android on December 2nd. This is a remastered version of the 2010 game that is now being ported from PS4 and Switch up to the newer generation of consoles. There's nothing new from the remaster, I don't think, other than the frame rate increases and some minor texture and upgrades like that. There's no new features or anything crazy. They're not probably not fixing bugs or whatever. It is a port. It is a straight port of the remaster from a few years ago. I am happy because it is free for people who own it digitally on PS5, which I do. Are you gonna play this ever, you think, Byron?
Probably not. I own it for PS3, PS4, whatever when it came out on.
Well, it came out on
Never finished it.
PS3 originally.
Yeah, I think that's the one I own, but I never played through it. I played RDR2 a lot. I don't know that I'll go back.
Oh, you should go back because if you do you know the story of the first one at all? Like, do you know? Do you know it?
Bits and pieces, but not thoroughly.
Do you know how it ends?
Does it end with the beginning of the second one? You're
No, the second
trudging through
one's
the
a
snowfield.
the second one's a prequel.
Oh, so no, then I don't.
You have to play then. If you don't know how the first game ends and you've played the second game, you have to play the first one.
We'll see. We'll see if I fit it in. I don't think I own it on Steam.
You can buy it on Steam.
I can buy a lot of things.
That's true. And then next up here, is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond coming to Switch 2 and Switch on December 4th. Byron, Metroid, any interest at all? Are you a Metroid fan, sir?
I love Metroid. Somewhere I fell out with Metroid. I enjoyed Metroid Prime a lot. Did I
Did you
enjoy
play
it
the
as much?
remaster?
I did not. Um, I Super Metroid is still the best Metroid there is. Um, I never like after I think I played Prime 2, I never played Prime 3, I never played Prime 4 for no good reason other than I
Well,
just
this
didn't
is
play
Prime
them.
4, so
Yeah, I didn't haven't played 3 then, and maybe I'll play 4, but probably wait till I get a Switch 2.
that's fair. I don't have any interest personally. I've never played any of the Metroid Prime games. The only Metroid memory I have is a random Game Boy or Game Boy Advanced game that I would have played, and I just remember like when Samus would die, like her suit explodes and it reveals that she's a woman, and I was like,
It's
oh,
not
okay.
spoilers. She was a woman in the first one. After you beat it, you could play without armor on, and that's when it was like, oh my god, she was a woman, and the little kids were really upset about that because the macho laser armor
Right.
person was a girl.
Well, that was my point. Is that was the only thing. That was the only way I knew, is because she died. Whenever she would die in the game, the suit would come off and it would show her as a woman. I was like, okay. Like I
Yep,
don't. I just remember that animation because of, I don't know. I just remember it.
I think that
That's my
was Game
only
Boy
exposure
Color,
to
but
Metroid. Yeah, it could be
yeah,
color. Yeah, for sure. And then finally this week, Octopath Traveler 0 comes to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on December 4th. Byron, Octopath Traveler. This feels like it's right in your wheelhouse.
I liked Octopath Traveler. I didn't finish it. I liked the characters. I didn't like bouncing around in the stories a whole lot, and that was the entire shtick of Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
Which like it was similar in like Final Fantasy VI, but that was only a part of it, where you
Mm.
split up
Mm.
and you were segmented out talking about one person's story, and this is the entire thing. And I don't know, I kind of got bored of it. I should go back and finish it because I did enjoy it enough that I would play it. I have it on Switch.
So you didn't play 2 then?
No,
Okay. Yeah. I haven't played any of these. They're HD 2D games. They're pixely. They look kind of nice. I debate maybe I could give them a shot someday, but too much to play to go into it. This one here has like a whole base building mechanic, like you're rebuilding a town, if you didn't know.
hmm.
So if you like base building,
Yeah, I do.
you can build, yeah, you can build a town. Uh,
Cool.
your town, I think it's called like Wishvale or something, and then it gets destroyed in the, like there's a demo of it out right now. The town gets destroyed in the demo. Like that's the end of the demo, and then you can go off and start rebuilding it, and that's the game. And it's one of those demos that does carry over the progress from the demo into the game. So if anyone's interested in checking it out, go for it. But yeah, I know this is a pretty popular series. It's the third game. This is, for people who don't know, this is a redoing. I'm not going to call it a remaster. I'm not really going to call it a remake. I'm just going to call it a redo. It's a redo of a mobile game, actually, that they have repurposed. It's a repurposing of a mobile game. They've taken out all the mobile garbage and made it like a proper game. But that's why it's got like the base building, because that was all microtransactions and stuff originally, and
Hmm.
they've repurposed all of it. And the story is like that. It is that story, but I think it's expanded upon, is what they've said. So yeah, Octopath Traveler 2.
And so that was the end of the list, but you missed one.
Did
December
I?
3rd, Guild Wars Reforged comes out.
It
I will
wasn't
be
on the list that
purchasing
I looked
that.
at.
Yeah, comes out on December 3rd. We talked about it last week. If you own any of the Guild Wars or expansions, you get it for free. If you don't have Guild Wars, it's probably going to be around $20. I'll be
Yeah.
giving that a shot.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear you talk about it. I
Yeah.
didn't see that was not on the list that I was looking at when I was looking at different games. Probably because it wasn't a new full game. It's just the reforge of the existing Guild Wars. But yeah, so this was fun,
All right.
Byron. Thank you so much for joining here.
Yeah, always a good time. Um, before we move into your socials, because your socials are more than mine, which is more than zero, I want to announce that I'm going to start streaming some for the show. Uh, Today, I'll probably be doing a test, which is, like I said, in the past for people who are listening, I'll probably be playing a little bit of the Crew. I have to remember to turn streamer music on so I don't get a copyright strike. But Thursday, I think I'm planning on about 7:30 Eastern to start working through some of my backlog, which I'll start with Near Automata because I've put like 30 minutes into the game and I'm just going to start over from scratch. I know that it's a good game. I know of A1 and B2 and 9S, but I don't know more than people like to dress up as them.
To be.
So, to be, I'll learn more. I played with them in Final
I've
Fantasy
never
Brave
played. I just
Exvius.
know that it's to be.
Yeah.
I know it's not B2. It's not a vitamin. She's not a vitamin.
Yeah, riboflavin. Or is that B12? Either way, I'll learn more as everybody else learns more. So it'll be going live on our YouTube channel. So please join in and watch me struggle through a game like that. And if there's interest, then I'll start putting my Steam and my Epic backlog up and let people vote for what they want me to play next. There'll be things taken out because there are things that I do not intend to play ever, but I'll put stuff in there that's fun.
Yeah, that could be good. And if this works out, we can maybe start looking at co-streaming onto Twitch too, because you can do Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
Yeah, I have done Twitch streaming before, and I had 10 people watching at one point in time. So
Big numbers.
yeah, I'm sure that I'll get a sponsorship from Squarespace for all of your website hosting needs. All right, you want to give out your socials?
Yeah, let's do it. So you can find me on Twitter/X at Joseph_Law_Russa. You can find my writing at Season Gaming as Don Lionheart. Like I said, I'm gonna do something for Where Winds Meet. I don't know if I'll make it a full review. The requirements for full reviews at Season Gaming are you have to at least beat whatever main story content is available, which is good. That's a good policy. All reviews should beat the main story. I do firmly believe that, unless it's literally so broken you can't. And have to try to do as much of the side stuff as well. There's a lot in there, so I don't know if I'll make it a full review or not, but check out anything that I put up there. And that's about it for me. Thank you everyone for watching the show. Byron, what about you? Where can the people find you, sir?
Rarely anywhere but Blue Sky at Radio Free Europe FR33 because I'm Xbox cool like that.
Yes, Xbox cool for sure.
XX Sephiroth 666XX.
Well, this was fun. Thank you, Byron,
It's
again.
fun.
I really appreciate it. Remember, everyone, to like and subscribe to the channel. Give us some comments. We're always looking for feedback. I feel like
Share
these are
with your
hosting
friends.
duties.
Share with your family. When you go to Best Buy, load the videos up on their web browser, click play, and walk away.
Yep. Share with your enemies, too. We like enemies just as much as we like friends. CrossGen Enemies just wasn't as catchy a title as CrossGen Friends, but enemies are welcome.
Yep. All
And
right.
that'll
Well,
do it for us here.
that'll
So
do
thank
it.
you
So,
again. Byron, over to you.
yep. And remember, whether it's your gen, my gen, or someone else's gen, friends can be cross generation. Goodbye,
Take care,
everybody.
all. the cat, but Jing too. Um, you know, daddy's little princess, daddy's little girl.